Okay, at this time, we will call this meeting to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Trustee Boer.
Here.
Trutchell.
Here.
Pfeiffer. Wallschlager.
Here.
Connor.
Here.
Hallquist.
Here.
President Vanderstill.
Here. If you'd all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, this will be led by Trustee DeBoer. At this time, we have someone that we're going to read a proclamation for from the Village of Hartland. This is to Rosario Collura, who will be retiring as Deputy Chief for the Police Department. He's had a tenured career here in Hartland, so I am going to read it even though he is not able to be here. What was that? 24, I was going to read that, the proclamation. A proclamation of Rosario Collura. Whereas Rosario Collura served the Village of Hartland for over 24 years, and whereas Rosario Collura began his career with the Village of Hartland Police Department on October 16th, 2000 as a police officer. Rosario was promoted to Lieutenant of Police in 2010. He was later promoted to Captain of Police in 2010, where he served until 2017. In 2017, he was promoted to Deputy Chief of Police, where he served his last tour of duty on December 13th, 2024. Rosario Collura also served in the role of Interim Police Chief in 2018. And whereas Rosario has displayed dedicated service to the citizens of the Village of Hartland through his work in the Patrol Division as team leader for LACS, as a negotiator, as a manager in emergency management, as a distinguished supervisor, and whereas Rosario served the Village of Hartland as a member of the Patrol Division for 10 years in roles to include a field training officer, a negotiator, a team leader for LACS for 12 years, a manager in emergency management for 6 years, and supervisor to include Lieutenant of Police, Captain of Police, Deputy Chief of Police, Interim Chief of Police, and for 14 years. Whereas the dedication and commitment shown to Rosario Collura have led to the arrest of many crime suspects, and he has helped many crime victims. And whereas Rosario, his greatest achievements came from training his fellow officers while being a field training officer and a team leader for negotiators, which was acknowledged by various emails, letters, and conversations. Whereas Rosario conducted himself with the highest level of professionalism, dedication, enthusiasm while serving in a command staff within the Village of Hartland Police Department. Now therefore be it hereby resolved that Rosario Collura is to be commended for his many years of service to the Village of Hartland and is given every best wish for the coming years ahead. Rosario, wherever you are right now, thank you very much. And this will be presented to him at his luncheon as he's sent off in his retirement. So a round of applause for Rosario. Now at this time, we have recognition of Hartland Fire Department personnel for their professionalism, talent, and actions, as will be presented by Chief Jambritz.
Good evening. November 20th, 2024, these three firefighters, Lieutenant Shimel, firefighter EMT Jake Scaff, firefighter Eric Roos, were presented with accommodations for their duties on September 12th at a fire in the Parquelynn Apartments out in Nashotah. So this is what was written by Chief Fenning. On behalf of the officers and members of Lake Country Fire Rescue, I would like to offer my heartfelt thanks for a job well done at the Parquelynn Apartment fire, which occurred September 12, 2024. Your professionalism, talent, and actions contributed to a positive outcome where a victim and her dog were saved, property was preserved, and the neighborhood was stabilized. Successful outcomes in these incidents don't happen by accident. They are a result of members like you doing the right things at the right time in the right place. I could not be prouder of your efforts and offer my humble gratitude for a job well done. Respectfully, Matthew Fenning, Fire Chief, Lake Country Fire and Rescue. So each one got a certificate and we'll get a challenge coin from Lake Country Fire.
Thank all three of you for your dedicated service and professionalism. Thank you. Okay, at this time, we have public comments. Anybody that would like to speak in public comments can step towards the podium. Do we have anyone on Zoom?
We have one person.
One person on Zoom, okay. Anybody that would like to speak in public comments, please step towards the podium. Person on Zoom wish to speak in public comments. Last call for the room?
I just didn't know if you were going to the Zoom person first.
Yeah, no, you can go. Yeah, sure.
Sorry, excuse me. Darcy Sobchak, I live in Meadow Lane, Hartland, and just a few comments. The other day I was contacted by someone, by Jake Zool, who is working with the rec department right now to set up some teen-tween hangout night things, and I just thought that was a fabulous idea. He'd reached out to me to help me, to let me know so I could help spread the word for him. And I just thought it was a fabulous idea. So,
You speak closer to the microphone so we can
oh,
hear you.
I'm sorry. I also have a cold. I can't even hear how loud I'm talking. Sorry. Did everybody mostly hear that? Okay, sorry. And then two, I had read some things online and I read the agenda about the fraud claim. And I would just like to ask that taxpayers not be responsible for that if it was not actual official village business. And that was all I had to say tonight. And then, Rick, what time does the pharmacy close?
Thank you, and I hope you feel better soon.
I can meet you afterwards.
Anybody else that would like to speak in public comments?
It's gonna be a little boring name-wise. My name is Benjamin Sobchak. The previous speaker happens to be my wife. I also live at 223 Meadow Lane. Wasn't sure we'd both be here today. But a couple things. One, I had emailed members of the board about the fraud situation, saying a similar thing. Regrettable incident, but I don't think taxpayers should be on the hook for reimbursement. A second issue is a more general issue that I know had come up at a previous village board meeting. We live on Meadow, so we're like a block away from St. Charles. We're at the very first stop sign there as people come off the freeway from 16. And there still continues to be, whether it's bad weather, good weather, people just blowing through that stop sign. Of course, St. Charles has a really large congregation. So maybe it's just a few bad apples, but I know in the past the village has reached out about being a good neighbor for the neighborhood. And especially with the bad weather, like the snow we had a week and a half ago, it's really an issue. I have dogs. I'd say half the houses on Meadow have dogs. 'Cause, we all see each other, wave and friendly, and we're all going back and forth up and down there, down and around. And it's dangerous. There's kids on the block, and it got better, and now it's getting worse again. So I'm bringing to the village's attention, especially before there's an incident with cold weather or ice or anything, that I really would love if Department of Public Safety could station someone there Sunday nights when it's dark and people might not be paying as much attention, or other very high traffic times, because I do think it's a safety concern, and it would just be too bad if something happened when we could prevent it just by reminding people like, hey, yeah, it's a four-way stop, and then there's another four-way stop a block later. So people just take consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And we'll reach out also, kind of like during construction, to see if they can say some stuff during their services or their announcements so that they can let people know. I've heard other complaints from the same thing. So.
Recognize it did get better. It's not that they didn't try. People slip and need a reminder.
Thank you. Anybody else that wants to speak? The first item we have on our agenda is the approval of the minutes for the November 25th, 2024 meeting. I will be abstaining because I was not there.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of November 25th, 2024.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the November 25th meeting. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries with my abstention. Now we have consideration of claim by Trustee Ann Wallschlager for reimbursement of $1,200 for personal funds lost to fraud. That possibly is being, that portion of it is possibly being pulled. But that's what we have here, along with a discussion of additional cyber training for village board members. Do you want to, any of us could go. There was we did have someone that tried using email that looked like it was from myself, like it was coming from the village president.
Going through everything?
If you want, sure.
Just to end it?
Okay. Just to let everyone know, after we discussed the unfortunate money scamming event with President Vanderstill, he had directed us, or me, to place this issue on the agenda for consideration, as the email had arrived via the village email system to me from his name. I have since decided to no longer ask for village assistance. On Friday afternoon, December 6th, I did request in writing and by telephone for this item to be removed from the agenda. So at this time, I am officially, again, requesting to have this item removed from consideration.
Thank you. So the request did come in to have it removed, but because I want to address, I think it's important that the board addresses how we do this in the future so that this never happens again, that we address this, because cybersecurity is important, but the cyber threat is obviously real based on the fact that this happened. One of the things, and I'm hoping to get action on tonight, is that we, together as a board, make a motion that moving forward, when we get to an election, between election date and the date that someone takes office, can you hear me? That the board will come together, it will be an agenda item open to the public to see, instead of the current manner is that once a month, people are getting cybersecurity training sent to their email, and it's basically optional because they're elected officials to take it. But this way, it's really putting it out there more to make sure everybody understands how to try to prevent these things, how phishing scams come in, how they can make it look like someone's name, but actually it's just a Gmail account. I know I just got one that popped up today at my workplace, and they come up very frequently that we have to do this. So I wanted to open the discussion to talk about ideas and what measures we're going to take to try to prevent this from ever happening again to board members. Staff is taken care of by the village manager, and they work at that. They can mandate staff has to take it, but if someone's elected, we can't technically just say, no, you can't be an elected official if you don't take it, but we want to take measures together to address it.
Yeah, and just so you're all aware, I did talk to OnTech, our third-party IT provider. What they're looking at doing is a webinar training that would be mandatory for all staff. Again, everybody gets at least one per month. They're all different to every board member, every staff person. But with this training, it would be something, as Jeff kind of mentioned, in April after the election results that the entire board would take, similar to the harassment training. And then we would sign off, and so.
That's what I was going to say, since the sexual harassment was one of, I don't know if you can say mandatory, not mandatory, but we signed off. I don't know that I feel that this should be a elected one. It should just be to do it. I mean, it's in everybody's best interest to do it, so I almost think it should be mandatory.
Yep.
As
We're going
much
to make
we
it as
can
mandatory as we can.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
I agree.
Yeah, I think having it right after the election, when you got fresh board members on one half of the room and a refresher on the other half of the room is a good idea.
I just want to say that I have received emails from OnTech. I have actually taken the security awareness, all of them that have been emailed to me. The only thing I would recommend is you don't get a confirmation that you took it. You have to take kind of a screenshot to kind of email it to somebody if you wanted to, so I think that that should be something addressed, that you take the class and you get a confirmation, and then it gets sent to the village.
That's a good idea. Maybe we can talk about that. Anybody else have any comments on this? Well, it won't necessarily have teeth. I don't know why anyone would choose not to do it, but I do seek a motion that we form together a policy that staff would organize it, the village manager would organize it most likely, along with ONTEC, but after Election Day and before taking office each election year, we will have a time that is set up for cybersecurity training, where that will be the agenda item on the meeting, but the board will come and do it right here in the boardroom. And it also opens up that anybody can have any questions answered if they have them, and new scams as they come about, because it's constantly evolving and changing. So that's what I seek.
I would make that motion that we move forward with a cybersecurity training done after the April elections annually for the entire board in the boardroom during meeting time.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded that the village board and the Village of Hartland take up a policy that they go through cybersecurity training after election day in the spring election and before taking office, which is typically I believe it's the third Tuesday of the month. Any discussion? I do want to add, I encourage everybody to at least grab one of those that are in their email now and yeah, well, no, it's in your email now, because they send them once a month. If you don't have them on tech, we'll
In
send
general,
them
if you get something that looks funny, call one of us. Call Sandy, call myself. We can definitely vouch if it is or not. We get staff that send me stuff, and we pass along to OnTech all the time as well. So.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion is carried. The next item that we have on the agenda are items related to the vouchers. We have consideration of contractor's application for payment number 5 in the amount of $18,420.50 and payment number 6 in the amount of $4,576.43 to Pieper Electric, Inc. to close out the Arlene Drive lift station upgrades.
So Pieper Electric has done a lot of work out at Arlene. We had some punch list items that they were able to clear up for us, and staff went out and inspected, and we are satisfied with the work that they are doing. Staff recommends the payment number 5 of $18,420.50 to Pieper Electric, and payment number 6 in the amount of $4,576.43.
Make a motion to approve the payment for number 5 in the amount of $18,420.50 and the payment number 6 in the amount of $4,576.43 to Pieper Electric to close out the Arlene Drive lift project.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve payment number 5 in the amount of $18,420.50 and payment number 6 in the amount of $4,576.43 to Pieper Electric to close out the Arlene Drive lift station upgrades. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Those are to be paid. Now we have consideration of Langer invoice for library roof installation in the amount of $98,182 and a penny.
Yep, so at our May 13th meeting, there was a formal vote that as soon as we got the invoice from Langer, we would bring it back to you guys because it was going to be probably 6 figures. The total cost was $98,182.01, which means it was almost $12,000 under budget. But we do just need a formal vote and approval from you so that we can cut the check for Langer and be done with the roof installation completely.
I like that we came in under budget. I will make a motion that we pay the Langer invoice in the amount of $98,182.01.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pay the Langer invoice for the library roof installation in the amount of $98,182.01. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Thank you, Andy. Now we have consideration of vouchers for payments in the amount of $725,810.79.
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers for payments in the amount of $725,810.79.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to pay the vouchers. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion carries. Now we have actions related to licenses and permits. Consideration of a special event application. This is from Kiwanis, Thursday night ice games, with a request to waive application and rental fees.
Yes, and we do have the Munzenbergers here tonight to present on this new event that would replace the winter play day that they have done previously.
Hello all, Jim Minzenberger, 182 Warren Avenue, on behalf of the Kiwanis Club. We are looking at trying something a little bit new. We've done the winter play day 3 years in a row and have run into some spotty weather, and it makes it, a little bit harder to organize. So we thought maybe we'd change gears here a little bit and try to offer 9 separate nights when the rink was open on a Thursday night, and that would be 5 in January and 4 in February. We'd be doing that from 6 to 8. The warming shed is open already, lights are on. We just thought we'd come in, do a little hot chocolate, do some organized game for kids that show up, and just try to have some fun, with, I guess, kids and adults. There's, no fee, obviously, that's going to be with this. We've got minimal expenses, and we would just like to try to keep it that way. It's kind of a give back to the community. So if you could waive the facility fees, that would be great. And if you have any questions about programming, I can give any of that.
And this is all times when the ice rink is already up and running. This is just adding to what's already happening.
This would potentially bring some additional attention to the rink, so that would be great. They'd use a portion of the rink, not the entire rink, but a portion of the rink to do some of their games, which is also great. So just building awareness of the community option for the ice rink when the ice permits.
Yes.
I think that's a great idea, to be
Totally
honest
up,
with you.
totally up to staff as to, when it's open, lights are on, we'll show up.
Well, and from a staffing point, is there any additional staffing that would be required because of this event, or do we see anything from the DPW or Park and Rec that we would be concerned about, or?
No, I believe, as I understand it, the Kiwanis would be staffing this event for the games. No, we have a plan. Whether they're there or not, the lights are getting turned on, getting turned off, and the shed is getting locked, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the Kiwanis Thursday night ice games, and also to waive the application and rental fee.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Kiwanis Thursday night ice games and to waive the application and rental fees. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried.
Sounds fun.
Thank you very much, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
Love cooperating with you guys.
Awesome.
Now we have consideration of special event application. This is the Moonlight Hike by Village of Hartland and the Ice Age Trail Alliance. January 11th, 2025 is the date in Nixon Park with fees waived.
Yes, so we do work, we partner with the Ice Age Trail Community Committee here in Hartland to provide these opportunities to hike on different segments in Hartland on the Ice Age Trail for these moonlight hikes. They tend to be really well attended. We've had upwards of 177 plus people attending these, so great opportunity for our community. This would be held on January 11th. It is within the 60-day notice. There was a little communication blurb here, but because it is a village event and we've done it before and it requires very little on the part of staff, we are recommending that we move forward with this. I did speak directly with our park board chairman, Tim Hulquist, and he said, let's move forward, bring it to the board to get approved by passing the park board. This would be in Nixon Park. We would have the warming shed open and available with complimentary hot chocolate, and then heading south, up to Maple Avenue and then south. Weather depending, we would go into Maple Wayside or we would go up into Pembroke Park. So that's kind of a game day decision based on the safety of the path. When this paperwork was submitted for the packet, you'll see that not all of the departments had signed off on it, but since everybody has signed off on that, and including the village manager.
I think it's great. I'll make a motion then to approve the special event application for Moonlight Hike by Village of Hartland and Ice Age Trail.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the Moonlight Hike by Village of Hartland.
I should just say and waive the fees, so.
Yep, okay.
I'll second that.
Moonlight Hike by Village of Hartland and Ice Age Trail Alliance, January 11th, 2025 in Nixon Park with fees waived. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. And now we have this item. We have the consideration of a Class B combination beer liquor license. This is for Duke's Bar and Grill, LLC, doing business as Duke's Bar and Grill at 300 Cottonwood Avenue. Is there anybody in attendance from that? Okay, you don't have to get up just yet. We have to open a public hearing, so at this time I will open a public hearing on the issuance of that Class B beer and liquor license. Anybody that would want to step forward to speak in public comments, please feel free to step towards the podium. Seeing as there, oh, go ahead.
I would just like to say that I love that we have that location in town. Excited for Pat that he gets to retire and move on. Well, oh no, or maybe he doesn't. I'm sorry, I did not mean to put words in his mouth. But it would be great to have a location there still because I know it's a very popular place. And even my son is sad you're leaving, so that's all.
Thank you. Anybody else for public comment? Sorry, it wasn't public. Anybody else for the public hearing?
Can I comment?
Yeah.
I just want to thank Mr. Enter for your support of the village the entire time. Dukes is going to have some big shoes to fill in. Mr. Enter was very involved in the community and a great asset to the village. So thank you, Pat. Well deserved.
I got a quick statement that I'd like to read, and hopefully I can read it writing, Pat. Pat and Jackie, can you stand up just so the cameras can get you? Yeah, just stand up.
I think we
Well,
should.
are you standing? Oh, okay. I want to give a quick acknowledgement and recognition to Pat and Jackie for their 17 years, right? 17 years of generosity. It's not well publicized, and I'm sure they don't want me to say this, but they've donated an extreme amount of money throughout their 17 years of owning the sports grill to numerous organizations and local projects. I've asked him several times in the past to give me the total amount, and he won't ever say. So, unfortunately, now that he's getting out of the industry, he's probably going to try and ask for that money back. So, anyway, from the Hartland Fire Department pancake breakfast to Nixon Park Ice Rink Beer Garden, and to the numerous nonprofit groups, they all thank you. So, thank you very much.
I just wanted to also add to both of you, thank you so much because your restaurant has been an additional head coach's office for many coaches in the community. Me in particular as a head coach while I was at Arrowhead, as a head coach while I'm at Oconomowoc. I have gone there with my coaches to pre-plan for our season and to plan our season out, and I want to thank you for your commitment to the Village of Hartland. It's been amazing. Thank you.
I would just like to say, Pat and Jackie, thank you so much for having such a wonderful business here in the Village of Hartland. I can't, just for myself, the amount of things that I can count that were firsts inside of there, from finding love to being on election night and finding out that I was going to become the village president, to meeting other people that have turned into lifelong friendships that I probably never would have met. And the camaraderie and the place to meet in the village. If you really want to know what's going on, you go to Enters, you'll find out what's going on. Thank you so much, just for all of it. You're a class act, both of you. This community should be thankful and proud forever as you've woven yourself into the history of this village. Thank you so much. Anybody else for public comment? I will at this time, or I'm sorry, public hearing. At this time, I will close. I'll close. Oh, no, that's okay. I will at this time close the public hearing. So at this time, we have consideration of action related to the issuance of a Class B combination beer liquor license for Duke's Bar and Grill, LLC, doing business as Duke's Bar and Grill. Would they like to come up and say anything? You do not have to.
It's on YouTube. There's people watching. It'd be good for people to meet you.
And welcome.
Who's joining me? Nice. Hi, I'm Cami Mosca. This is my husband Ralph, also Duke. We are very excited and happy to take over Enters, and Pat will be there and helping us gear through it, and we look to hopefully fill his shoes over the years.
Welcome.
Welcome, welcome.
Depending on how this vote goes, but welcome.
Thank you.
Well, let's find out. I'll make a motion that we issue the Class B combination beer liquor license for Duke's Bar and Grill, LLC, doing business as Duke's Bar and Grill.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to approve the liquor license for Duke's Bar and Grill. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion carries. Thank you all.
And, well, just a side note, his 17th anniversary is the 17th, so it's his golden anniversary is coming up, so. He's having a little going away.
Send us away on the 17th.
And is it free drinks from
Hold the microphone,
7:45 to
please.
7:45, then, is that right?
He waits till the press leaves to say this?
I don't want this public. No, so the 17th of December would be our 17th anniversary. So even though they'll have taken over a week prior to that, we are gonna use that as our send-off. We have a chamber event that afternoon that had been scheduled 3 months ago, so we're gonna go ahead with that. And then we're just gonna make that kind of our send-off, the 17th anniversary on the 17th. So all are invited. We'll put it out on Facebook. Hopefully more than 5 or 6 people show up, so.
You better be ready.
We
She better be ready.
Well, yeah, they better be ready.
We have a board meeting that night. We will be there after.
Yeah, we'll be there waiting for you.
Okay, it's gonna fill up.
All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just so that, because it can pick it up, otherwise. Wonderful.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. And then, along with that, we have a bartender's operator's license application for Roberta Camus, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right.
Was the only reason why this is on because she had open
Right.
container.
So the clerk's office can only issue if there is nothing on the record. There is something on her record from 2005, open intoxicants, I believe. The police department did confirm that, and Deputy Chief did sign off and approve it.
I'll make a motion to approve the bartender application for Roberta Comwa.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the bartender's license for Roberta Camus. I will ask, even though we're in discussion for the board, I just want to make sure that there's nothing, no reservations or anything that police department wanted to add. Good?
Yeah.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. That will be issued. I apologize to the entire board, and I really do. I've just got to step out in the hallway just for a second. So if you'll allow a recess for that.
All right, we're on.
Have you gotten a prescription?
Okay, so we will, we'll come back in under order,
I mean, that's a prescription, but those are for people
and
that have chronic.
we'll get going here.
Migraines are just,
And,
Okay. Okay.
so at this time, we have items referred from the Park Board's December 2nd meeting. We have a request to purchase a budgeted golf cart for the sum of $13,959. This was discussed at budget when we discussed budget items in September.
Yeah, this is just making the request to purchase a golf cart out of the funds, like you said, already budgeted and approved in the park board meeting as well.
I would make a motion that we approve the budgeted golf cart / utility vehicle for the sum of $13,959.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the purchase of the golf cart for $13,959.
Just out of curiosity, what did we budget for it? 14, okay. I wasn't sure. Thank you.
Yeah, we budgeted at 14. We knew the price beforehand.
Oh, okay.
So we saved $41, whereas the roof was $11,000. Come on, Park Board.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have discussion and consideration of the implementation of the Civic Rec software for field reservations and an update to the policy for facility reservations.
Yes, so as you all know, we implemented the Civic Rec software this past year. We have done it in phases where we started with registration for summer camp. We added the park shelter reservations, and now we have done all of our rec programming through the program. In 2025, we have updated the process to implement now field reservations in Civic Rec. So this is just an update to basically user groups and individuals to be able to see what the new process is. So at the December Park Board meeting, we did invite all of our user groups to come and had a detailed explanation of all of the changes that were coming. And we had a great turnout for that as well. Most of the groups were there. Basically, we will be offering later this month a user group packet that can be picked up. Then in the first business day in January, they can complete these packets and turn them into the clerk's office. This user packet will be all-inclusive of every document they could need. It'll have the policy included and a checklist of everything that they are expected to turn in as a completed packet. This updated policy goes through how to set up your Civic Rec account. Dee Dee will be still handling the inputting of all of these schedules up front. Then once those are done, the premium access that the user groups will have will switch and open over to the general public. So they're still getting the first right. All of the user groups, their packets will come in. We'll do first come, first serve with a completed packet, and then go from there. So that's generally the update. The updated policy is here in the packet, and it was approved by the Park Board last week.
I'll make a motion then to approve the implementation of the Civic Rec software for the field reservation and an update to the policy for facility reservations.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the implementation of the Civic Rec software for field reservations and an update to the policy for facility reservations. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have a discussion and consideration of park court rental fees for 2025.
Yes, so staff reviewed the fee rates, and generally we're keeping them all the same with the exception of the tennis and pickleball courts. We would like to raise those from $20 plus tax to $30 plus tax for 2 hours per court for the Nixon and Pembroke tennis and pickleball courts.
Does one court get used more than the other? Obviously, Nixon gets probably used more.
Nixon is, yes, Nixon gets used more than Pembroke, but Pembroke has gotten a lot more attention, as we have heard.
And again, with this, anybody can use the courts.
Yeah.
This is just if you want to say, hey, because there are people playing at 5 a.m. This confirms that they get it live.
Yeah, of course, our courts are open to the public. They can use them anytime. It's first come, first serve. If you want, you can reserve the court if you would like to guarantee that it is yours for 2 hours or more increments.
Just like the park shelters. Anybody can go and use them, but there's no guarantee you'll be the only one using them if you go and use them, unless you reserve them for a party or something like that.
Correct.
Once you've reserved it, that is your slot.
Correct.
And then we also have notification to, like, whoever reserves Pembroke at 8 o'clock, we have put a reservation sheet or something, so
Yep.
that.
Yes, DPW puts those up when we have any shelter reservations or field or, court reservations.
I'll make a motion to approve
Okay, never.
our court rental fees for 2025.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the updated court rental fees for 2025. Rick, you had something?
Well, just discussion, I was gonna ask, because unfortunately I couldn't make it to the meeting. Are these rates that are increased comparable to other areas?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know it's popular, so I just make sure we're staying in line with everybody else. Meaning.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, and we also have a new contact for fields now? I mean, it was Leo and now it's Corey? Are we-
Yes, so that is one other change in the form, is that we are updating, and Corey was at that meeting and introduced and in his new role. There's some shifting going on there. Yes, he would be the contact for the fields.
That's all I want.
Feels all good with that?
Corey has been promoted to lead man, so he's management.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have other items for consideration. We have discussion and consideration of Resolution 120924, approving the sewer average consumption amount effective first quarter 2025.
Just a little background. Currently, the way we calculate your sewer average is based on the fourth quarter and first quarter water usage. That's obviously the only way to track it. So that would be September 16th all the way through March 15th. The issue with that is we have much warmer weather lately in September, October. We have new lawns that are being watered. We have residents that continue watering their grass to maintain it because we do have longer. So that is affecting their sewer average, and that water doesn't technically go through the sewer to be treated. There are other communities that do this where they just do the first quarter. In December, January, and February into March, you should not be watering your lawn. So if your sewer average is higher, you probably had a leak. So Kim upstairs looked into this, and this just seems like it'd be more equitable, especially with the new homes and all the people that do want to continue to water and make their yards look nice later.
Great idea.
As long as you don't.
I'll make a motion then to approve the resolution 12-9-24, approving the sewer average consumption amount effective first quarter 2025.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the resolution 120924, approving the sewer average consumption amount effective first quarter 2025. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have discussion and consideration of resolution 120924A, approving the 2025 municipal court budget with Lake Country Municipal Court.
All right, good evening. There was an error on the original municipal court resolution that was sent out in your packets earlier this week. The revised version was attached and sent out, I believe, on Friday. The budget sheet was accurate, but the wrong number was inserted in the resolution for revenues. So what you're voting on this evening would be the estimated revenues at $463,006. That number had changed compared to the previous resolution that was sent out earlier in the week, and the anticipated expenditures remains the same at $460,326, leaving a surplus of $2,680.
And your role is not to approve that dollar amount, but approve the budget. We are one of the stakeholders, so just letting you know that as well. It was something Chief Misko caught all the other communities that approved this resolution without the correct numbers.
Make a motion to approve the resolution 120924A, approving the 2025 municipal court budget with Lake Country Municipal Court.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the resolution 120924A, approving the 2025 municipal court budget with Lake Country Municipal Court. Any discussion?
Just like to say, nice catch by Chief.
Anybody else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have a discussion and consideration to contract Rupert Milkie to complete a DNR required water supply area plan in an amount not to exceed $49,000.
Okay, so I'm gonna kind of go over what a water supply service area plan is based on the memo that Dave Arnott here to the left of me provided for us. I think it's important to go over. The scope of the project is to provide a study to comply with the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources requirements for public drinking water systems for water supply service area plan. This is a new requirement that went into effect at the end of July 2024. The plan is required for any community that serves a population of 10,000 or more. Village records indicate that the present population served in the water system is above 10,000. Therefore, the plan has to be finalized and approved by December 31st, 2025. So the purpose of the plan is for the village to have a proactive strategy on how to serve their existing population along with the new developments as the village grows. The plan will require the village to document existing water system facilities, document existing water system demand, project future water system demand, identify and evaluate alternative to meet the project demand through a cost analysis, and identify a recommended plan. The end product of the plan would be a roadmap of how the village water supply system will expand as the village expands and develops. So I reached out to our DNR rep on this, as this was brought to my attention by Dave Arnott here from R&M, and he did send me back kind of where our population was and the requirement would be, and we do fall under this category for this plan. So
Yeah, and I think the big piece of this is we're getting into a population now where they just want to make sure that we can serve it into the future. This whole area with the growth, everything, they want to make sure that in 10 years there's no surprises. I know we have future wells, things of that nature, but to make sure that we can provide what we say we can provide. Correct?
correct. I mean, and this is the extensive report. I mean, this is the initial report. This does need to be updated every 5 years after. Shouldn't cost as much to update this plan after that, but there is an expiration to the plan as time goes on. So projecting out into the future and being revised as it goes along too. So, and if you have any questions for Dave that are more in depth about the studies they're going to be doing,
We should also state, you can vote no, but we have no choice.
That too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the same. It looks like it's a mandate by the DNR, so I'd make a motion that we move forward with the contract with Ruckert and Milky to complete a DNR required water supply area plan in the amount not to exceed $49,000.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the contract with Ruckert Milky to complete the DNR required water supply area plan in an amount not to exceed $49,000.
This was every 5 years?
So yeah, every 5 years. I mean, this hasn't actually been procured by me yet. They said by the end of last month that I would have this submitted to me by the DNR. I haven't gotten that submittal yet. Probably be reaching back out to him and asking for that documentation. But the notes that he gave me that there's going to be expiration date on this report, and that was going to be followed up. And what's listed there is every 5 years as of right now. So that might change over time. So.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have we have discussion and consideration for renewal of HydroCorp Inc. for cross-connection and backflow prevention inspection for 2025.
So the Village of Hartland is required, once again, by the Wisconsin DNR to inspect and comply with state code for cross-connection and backflow prevention. The village has traditionally hired HydroCorp for all of our commercial properties throughout the village. The price per inspection under this new contract would average at $161 per inspection. DPW recommends hiring HydroCorp for a renewal cost of $14,076.
Real quick, just give them a background of why we need this and what it helps prevent.
So this is especially done in our bigger industrial or commercial properties, and that's what they're inspecting. We have 407 commercial properties in the village. This goes out to more so, or the higher risk properties would be chemical companies or companies that are using chemicals in direct line with our water supply. If at any moment they lose pressure in that water line and there's not a backflow preventer in there, we could have chemicals going back into our distribution system. So these guys are going around doing inspections, making sure we don't get any chemicals in our public water supply, basically. So they're going through, they're making note of all those, and then coming back if there are any issues or if they fail the inspection. They're coming back around to make sure that that's being taken care of as well. So it's not only the initial inspection, it's a follow-up as well.
Make a motion then that we move forward with the renewal of the HydroCorp Inc. Cross-connection and backflow prevention inspections for 2025 in the amount of $14,076.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the renewal of HydroCorp, Inc. for cross-connection and backflow prevention inspection for 2025. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have a request to purchase budget-approved body and chassis for water truck 2 for the sum of $109,540.
I'd like to amend that amount. The amount is actually gonna be $111,574. I didn't, and the total's at the bottom of the pages. I skipped ahead a little bit, so I took a look at that today, saw that was wrong. But once again, this is already budget approved. We're just putting this out in front of you guys to take a look. This is for just the body and the chassis. This is bare bones. The truck, we had budgeted this at $120,000. There's still gonna be a couple little things that we're gonna be adding to the truck. But this is gonna be our hoist truck that we're using to pull sewer pumps with when we get a rag or anything jammed up in a lift station or anything like that. So this is also a truck that we take out on water main digs and do our meters and locates with. So this is a utility dependent truck.
If we buy it, 12 months, 15 months?
Leo?
The equipment is 10 to 14 weeks out. The equipment is the big hangup, actually. The truck, no, the truck will probably be here by January or February. I would say January, because it's not an orange color. That's pretty easily had, being it's blue. But the equipment, the crane is like 10 to 15 weeks. The body, the power inverter, there's a lot of pieces in this truck that are kind of unique.
Is this an additional or a replacement?
Replacement,
Which one are we replacing, the white one?
the white one.
2011.
I make a motion that we approve the body and chassis for water truck number 2 for the sum of $111,574.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to approve the body and chassis for water truck 2 for the sum of $111,574. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. Now we have items related to Quick Trip, acceptance of public infrastructure in West Capitol Drive contingent on receipt of lien waivers.
Yeah, so anytime we have any public project done, developments, things of that nature where we get public roads, water, storm sewer, sanitary sewer, we accept it, we take it. So they put in the new road, all the new utility infrastructure down there, and it was reviewed by R&M. It is all in an acceptable phase. The only contingent thing is we just want to make sure we get all the lien waivers that they've paid all of their people. We will take that over, and then that road will be ours to maintain. Nothing in Quick Trip, nothing in the quarry, just the road itself and the utilities itself. And then part 2, I know we're not there yet, but while I have the mic, the project is done, as you can tell at Quick Trip. We just have something in the letter of credit that states it'll be open for 2 years. They're aware of that, so we would be decreasing the letter of credit to a portion, so just reducing the letter of credit. And the whole reason we have to do that public acceptance, this is for the audit. The auditors have to see, hey, we accepted water, road, sewer, storm, and then we put it in our financial statements.
I'll make a motion then that we accept public infrastructure on West Capitol Drive contingent on the receipt of the lien waivers by Quick Trip.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to accept public infrastructure in West Capitol Drive contingent upon the lien waivers. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried, and along with that then would be the entertainment of a motion for a reduction in the letter of credit for Quick Trip. Do you know what the total amount of the reduction is?
I'll make a motion, to approve the reduction in letter of credit from Quick Trip in the amount, well, 10%, but amount $57,802.40.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the reduction in the letter of credit for Quick Trip for $57,802.40. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That motion is carried. Announcements. Mr. Youngbluff.
Start.
Yeah.
Was a very nice weekend in Hartland for the tree lighting. The holiday train, I really like doing that. That's something I really think like a lot more people should come out and see. That's a really good event. And I really have a lot of fun doing it. We're gathering up all the food right now, but we have some pretty full trucks at the shop. Sarah's been counting and just handling it, but I just wanted to say it was a great event. I'm done.
Thank you, Leo.
Thanks, Leo.
Sarah, can you talk into the mic the whole time?
Yes,
Thank you.
I will. I will just piggyback off of that. We had great weather for the Hartland Lights. We had great turnout. The village was down, the library and the recreation department worked together in the programming room in the library. So we had activities in there. We had some small complimentary items in there as well. And the carriage rides were very well enjoyed. Constant line down there. So it's a really nice thing that we brought back to the village. I just do want to take a moment to take a shout out to Andy and Emily, and then of course Heather, who did a great job running that activity on Friday night. And of course, thanks to the bid for putting it on. The holiday train was also great. Of course, we had a delay with the two Amtraks coming and delaying our train from arriving in Hartland. But another night of great weather, and did want to thank Craig Eisenhoot at Gristmill for always letting us use his parking lot for our food vendors and power from his garage so that we can put that on. I want to thank Kiwanis. I know they ran out of food, which is a great problem because 100% of their proceeds do go back to the Hartland Food Pantry and St. Vincent de Paul Food Pantry in Hartland. And then new this year was Epic Mortgage, who reached out and wanted to participate. They had some dessert options as well, and they did a great job raising money, over $600 from the cookie sales, and that all came already straight back and is being counted, and we'll have announcement, I believe, on Wednesday for what our totals are with that. If you've been past Nixon Park, our ice rink is up. We just need the weather to cooperate. We had a few cold days, but then we had a few warm days. So we will get that up and running when we can, weather depending. Had a good turnout for sponsors for the rink as well. And then landed in homes late last week was the winter and spring guide. This is also available online. Registration for the winter spring programming opens tomorrow for residents in the Village of Hartland, City of Delafield, and the Hartland Lakeside School District. And that's all.
Because no one went over this yet, I'd like to touch on the Hartland Lights that we had this last Friday and the train. I think it shows when we have multiple departments, including DPW, fire, police, rec, admin, library, come together, we can really pull off a great event. So hats off to everyone in the departments. Also want to point out on DPW World, we had Cottonwood Wayside FECON. We did a little forestry mowing action up there, so if you get a chance to go up and take a look, it looks awesome. Now you can see right over the bluff into the hill, nice looking oak savanna. So Cottonwood Wayside. So thank you.
Ice Age Trail's starting their bridge redo this week, if anybody doesn't know that.
All right. So we're in the last phases of our hiring process right now. We had 4 applicants, all internal, that applied. Their last interview is tomorrow night with the Police and Fire Commission. So we'll make a decision after that on the 3 that we will be adding on, and then send them off for physicals, drug screens, and psych evals. It's been a long, tough road right now, but I think we'll get 3 really good applicants out of there. So, other than that, answering calls. There was a comment that one of my guys made that they'd like to see 5 calls a day for the rest of the year, and they're getting close to that. There was like 35 calls in the first 7 days, so right on top of that.
Thank you, Chief.
The police department staff interviewed 7 candidates last week for the police officer position. 5 candidates will be forwarded tomorrow to tomorrow's interview with the Police and Fire Commission. Mackenzie Weber started last Monday as our afternoon part-time administrative assistant. And Deputy Chief Collura would retire on Friday the 13th of this week. He will have a luncheon in the village boardroom starting at 11:30 a.m. with a short presentation at noon. The police department also received our Taser 10s to replace our old Taser units that were having those critical fault issues. And we're in the process of having all officers complete the mandatory certification to transition to those new Taser 10s.
I've heard nothing but great things about the drone show on Friday night. So, although it's too short. So, and I told him that it's so much per minute. And I said, if you're willing to donate more money, we'll do it longer. But it was great. So.
I guess I agree with everybody else. A great weekend with Hartland Night, the Knights. It was also great to do on Saturday with the Grinch scavenger hunt, something new. Was a little concerned how it would start out, but I thought it was a good turnout, at least at my pharmacy, and a couple other merchants that talked to said it was pretty good. So for the first year, it's great. I love the idea of doing something for the whole weekend. I think it gets all the residents of the village out and active in the wintertime, but even showcase some of the things that we have out there. So great job to everybody involved.
No.
I just want to say Friday night was awesome for Hartland Lights. Unfortunately, I was out of town last night for the train. I rarely ever miss that, but Hartland Lights was run so well with all of our departments, so kudos to everybody.
Yeah, we had a blast of a weekend. The weather was phenomenal, which certainly helped. Friday night was great. I think based on the number of people that were in this parking lot watching the light show, the drone show, and the number of the buzz around it and how awesome it was, I think next year we're going to need to expand the viewing area, because I think a lot more people are going to come out to watch that now that they know what it is. Some people were calling it the fireworks of wintertime. And it was really fun. It was really cool. Daughter had a great Sunday, got to ride on the Christmas train, really enjoyed her time. And it was a beautiful night, Sunday night. We really enjoyed watching the concert from the grass and having some hot chocolate. It was wonderful. Great weekend. Thank you, everybody involved.
Yeah, I just want to say, everybody, I know the board recognizes it, but there's a lot of time that goes into planning the events, so thank you, Police, Fire, Public Works, Library, Rec, Admin. People don't realize we were there at 3 o'clock meeting for the holiday train, and everything is perfect and down to a T of where people are going to be, what's going to be blocked off. Public Works has every block out, every truck. We make it it's a lot of work they do, and people loved it, so thank you all for your support.
Yeah, the drone show was a hit, no doubt about it. It was very, very cool, and to go off of what Rick was saying, to have stuff going on the entire weekend, I think is great. I hope we can keep on building on that Friday night, and, you know, the holiday train is definitely set. But to build on that and keep things going for a whole weekend after lighting the tree is a great thing. Holiday train was good. Unfortunately, yeah, Amtrak couldn't figure out which end was up, and, but I mean, they're going, they don't stop where they're supposed to, then they stop in Hartland. But it was, all in all, it was great. The weather wasn't too cold, so hopefully people were able to handle that. We were trying to keep messages going to the village to let people know. It just got kind of confusing because we were going and then stopped. But was able to take some notable guests. Delaney Pfeiffer took as a guest to ride the train, and Lynn Minturn, as she prepares for her retirement from the chamber, she brought her great nephew, So they were able to ride the train, and while I'm on that, congratulations to Lynn on all her years of service at the chamber and the things that she's done as she prepares to retire in not too long. Congratulations, Brian, as you get ready to take over as deputy chief. Congratulations, well earned. Lot of hours and time spent in Hartland to get to that milestone, but I'm hoping that you're excited about it, and the village is in good hands. On behalf of the village board, to the entire Village of Hartland and all of the employees that work for the Village of Hartland, and anybody associated with the Village of Hartland, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. This will be the last meeting, unless there's a special meeting. Plan Commission has one item on it for next week that will be canceled. That'll be carried over to January. And the second meeting that we would have on the fourth Monday is so close to Christmas and New Year's that we will be canceling that, which is very customary for this time of year. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Yep, I was just making sure I got all the announcements. So now we have a consideration of a motion to recess to closed session pursuant to state statutes 19.85, section 1C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility, specifically regarding the village manager performance evaluation. This would take a roll call vote to go into, and we do anticipate we will come back into open session for any possible action that may come from the closed session meeting.
I make a motion that we move into closed session.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to go into closed session. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Trustee DeBoer? Trutchell?
Here.
Pfeiffer?
Hey.
Wallschlager?
Yeah.
Connor?
Yay.
Alquist?
Yay.
Vanderstill?
Yay. That motion passes, so at this time, we will prepare to transition into closed session. We are now in open session. Following the closed session, to just put it out there, the discussion was there for our village manager. He had a very decent review, and the trustees on the board here, we all talked about it, and his current salary is $149,968. We discussed having a 2.5% raise increase to his salary, which would be an increase of $3,749.20 for a total, new total of salary of $153,717.20. Obviously, all of that would take a motion here in open session to make it reality.
I would make a motion that we proceed with a 2.5% raise for Village Manager Bailey, taking his new salary to $153,717.20.
It's been moved and seconded to increase Ryan Bailey, the village manager's salary by 2.5% for a new total of $153,717.20. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. All opposed? That motion is carried. And for the record, that is not, what they used to say, taxed up or whatever. Remember?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned.